A Who All Gonna Be Their podcast, a place where you get to be an exclusive member of our very entertaining group chat. What up? Welcome to A Who All Gonna Be Their podcast, guys.
Yo, 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 yo.
How's everybody doing?
What's good?
We making it.
What up?
Making it. You just making it?
Figure out why I was muted. Like,
we here, Chad. We made it to another day.
I was waiting for somebody's opening song.
Somebody's gonna pop out with some kind of song.
Somebody is singing something at the very beginning. I was just waiting. Waiting for it. Yeah. You know, listeners and viewers, that is so. What kind of grammatically incorrect?
She ain't been to school, y'all. That's what that means. She ain't been to nobody's schooling.
child.
Listeners and viewers, we are back to talk about, this is our last week before the finale for Big Brother Canada 10. How you feeling?
Yeah, finally.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
I've been ready
to wrap it up.
Please
Moments since Herman left.
Listen.
I've been ready.
Listen.
Look, the thing about it is, after Summer left, my spirit was further broken. So I've been counting down the days for the finale. No shade to the show, but
Summer leaving ain't bothering me none. Ain't bothering me none. Nah, just playing.
I think what it was, like, Herm's leaving, I was like, oh no, I needed him here. And then Moose leaving back to back. Him, right after him, I was like, oh, I was just crushed. Losing Moose.
That was terrible.
When mine left, it was raps for me. Even though, you know what, I enjoyed this season though. I really did. Once Marty left, Jasnem left, Kyle left. Look, I was all good with it.
We had good moments. We did.
About a week ago. Huh?
All right.
I said we had some really good moments. We were up a lot, then we were down, then we went back up, and then we were down and down and down, then we back up, and we kind of plateaued.
Yeah,
it did, and it was, I don't know, the season, I just really enjoyed it. Did I enjoy it more than 9? No. But did I enjoy it more than BB23? Of course I did.
It has some enjoyable moments.
Look, Reese, talk about that for a second before we have Tracy talk about the get us up to speed with the episode, because I saw you tweeting about it too. I think you had mentioned in like our group chat or something like that.
Mention what exactly? The BB 10 versus
you
BB23?
liking this one better than 23?
Oh, they had more people I enjoyed. The Hermans, Mooses, Joshes, Summers, even Gino sometimes of this world. And for BB23, I pretty much only liked Aza, Tiffany, Kylan, and then I had to watch Kylan be fooled by X by his own volition. Then I had to watch Tiffany go out 6th. It was, and then not just that. Like, okay, I can get over my faves not making it to the end, but what gets me is that Xavier let the house have no drama, so it was just like so dry. There were no fights. Well, except for the Tiffany DF fight, but I was like, okay, that still wasn't even that good, because they could have took harder shots at each other. But I get it. You black people on reality TV. I'm set a bad example. I get it.
It's just like we couldn't have any fights, because any fights could lead to the cookout being exposed, and so we really couldn't have no fight. So as much as we needed the drama,
have fights that would expose the cookout, or was it just that Xavier modeled his game after Derek, and therefore there were no fights?
Well, he didn't want no fights because it was on.
I would have wanted to see the fights regardless.
Listen, X, I'm happy you won. Congratulations, Danny. Though the challenge, happy you won, brother. Now the person he was sitting beside, I don't care.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
See, they ain't even came out yet.
Y'all know what it is. We do spoilers on this show.
Listen, allegedly, maybe she lying. I don't know. We gonna see.
I definitely not lying. Definitely, Danny definitely won.
I'm definitely not lying.
You know what? Mute the mic.
Congrats.
I'm hollering. Bring that volume down.
She over here, look, her congratulations are like Tyreek's congratulations. She didn't really want X to win. She didn't really want him to win. That's how she's saying it. Congratulations.
Sarah, Sarah.
Who? What is that woman? I don't know. I don't know her.
Sarah?
Never met her. Don't plan to.
She
Sarah
is anyway. Let me be polite.
Okay.
Let me be polite. Maybe if I'm polite here, we can actually get a good season for BB 2024.
Maybe
that'll be a good season.
It's a really weak maybe.
Maybe, child. But in the meantime, we got 4 people left, huh? In the Big Brother Canada house.
We showed.
Yep.
So, Therese, I'm gonna have you get us up to speed on these episodes. Then I'm gonna pass it on to Reese, who's gonna get us caught up on the live feeds. What should we expect, moving forward into this last week in the Big Brother house? So I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic to you. And for the viewers, you should already know who the final 4 are, right?
Okay, I'm just gonna update y'all. So if you don't know, now you gonna know. So our final 4 that we have left is good old Petty Betty, my fave, Helena, Josh, my old fave.
Josh, my fave.
Josh, my old fave. He would be my sneaky link because I don't trust him. That's what he gonna be. He gonna be the link because I don't trust him. He'll come around when I tell him to come around. You know what I'm saying? For those that know, you know. But okay, let me catch y'all up with the episode.
Okay, you didn't say Kevin's name.
You completely omitted Kevin. Was that subconscious?
And I said and Kevin. No, I said and Kevin. Okay. I just said it real fast
because I've been rooting for Kevin.
I said Josh and then Kevin.
Not the foreshadowing.
Listen, out the door. Okay, so let me update y'all. So when we last left y'all, JC Lynn left. And first I want to talk about her leaving. So throughout the week, okay, Betty won HOH. We all know this by now. We know that prior to that, Josh had won HOH, and he put who he put up? Well, my memory just erased like that.
He put up Betty and Kevin.
Did I skip something?
No.
Wait, he put up Betty won Final 5 HOH.
Oh, wait. Look, see, I'm already getting ahead of myself. Okay, so Betty won HOH, and Betty put up Josh, and she put up JC Lynn. Long story short, Betty basically talked to Josh, and Betty went on a Wendy's date with Kevin. Kevin, in so many words, basically was trying to get rid of Josh and was basically telling Betty, like, maybe this is time to get him out, whatever. He thought, Kevin think that because Josh put Betty up in the triple HOH, that she was done with him. Shouldn't have did that because good old loyal Betty went back to Josh and was like, Kevin coming for you. And so that right there, that wrote his ticket. He was the golden ticket is not yours, Kevin. So anyways, so that whole conversation happened. Betty basically, in so many words, she told Josh what the deal was. And Josh was like, I know this man is nuts. Because in the Big Brother game, Kevin was the love of Josh's life, Lord. And he was going to do anything for that man, child.
But Daniel said that Daniel is Josh's boyfriend. He said on Twitter that him and Kevin are very similar. So it's starting to make sense now. It's starting to click for me now.
Getting weird.
Daniel cute though.
I think in personality wise.
Okay. I see that one.
Kevin
I see
looks,
that side.
You know what? I don't want to really attack Kevin on his looks right now. Kevin done got back in my good graces, so I'm gonna let him rest for
what?
Wait a minute.
Was he ever in your good graces?
Listen, no.
Probably the beginning of the game, maybe week 1.
Probably the beginning of the game, week 1.
And then the whole rest of it, no. But now, I'm fine. I'm okay with Kevin. I don't hate him.
How has he garnered this favor back?
Just he's leaving, thinking back on the game. I don't respect his game at all because of he played on racial biases to help his game be further along. I further didn't like him because the fans were trying to say he's Kevin Giesling. He's the new Derek.
No, that ain't no Kevin Giesling.
Last name is ugly cop. He's the new Dr. Will Kirby.
He's
Nigga,
not.
no, he isn't.
He's not.
A lot of Kevin's game, and maybe this is like a completely different episode, but a lot of Kevin's game is luck based. Like, wow, he fooled Marty. Wow, he fooled Helena. Okay, the two dumbest house guests in the house.
I'm gonna say he fooled some idiots if we being real. Yeah.
Right.
Like, if he had been put on another season, it might have been harder for him to convince these people, but these people are just gullible.
Aren't you? If you're
on a different season, he would not have made it this far. He would have been a pre-jury boot. Look at him. Just
but
look
if you
at
can
him.
manipulate people, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Find the people who are weak-minded and that you can manipulate.
That is what you're supposed to do. That is what you're supposed to do. But it's not impressive when the person you're manipulating is Marty and he already has all these qualms against black people.
I mean, I still think it's impressive.
Trying to get Marty to put up a black person, that's easy. Kevin trying to get Marty to put up something else, that's where he had the issue with. And not to mention, Marty wasn't even convinced by Kevin's pitch to put Hermione up until he went to the diary room. So that could have been production interference. That wasn't even Kevin. But people like to give Kevin all these extra points. Like, that's not something that impresses me. Helena has no backbone. Wow, he was able to drag her through the game. That doesn't impress me. Like, if you would have got somebody with actual brain cells, with more than 5 brain cells, like I would be more impressed by his game.
But I think the impressive thing about Kevin,
he had Josh rap.
Look, seriously, but
the thing with Josh is that I think Josh mainly wanted a safe place, and he saw Daniel in Kevin, so that was his whole.
But Josh got brains and got manipulated by him, so true, I do give credit for that.
What I'm saying is the reason is that he saw Daniel so much in Kevin, it was like his safe space, and so he trusted him. And what did Kevin even really need Josh to do? What did Kevin really need Josh to do? Nothing. The whole house was looking after Josh.
But that was Kevin's strategy to me, though, because they even made this. Basically, Kevin was like a chameleon. He was all things to all men. Whoever he was talking to, he became a different version of himself, or a created version of himself when he was talking to them, to the point where their guards got let down when they were communicating with him, and they thought they were more close than what they were, and when really he was gaming them the entire time. So I think, for me, that's impressive, for him to shape shift with whoever he's talking to and getting in their graces and getting them to let their guard down. I think it's impressive for him to get as far as he has with that strategy.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Kevin is a good Big Brother player, but he is not a great one. And I think
I wouldn't give him great. I give him good.
You know, people just give Kevin too much credit, so I like to tear down Kevin any chance in this game, any chance I get. I do. It's too much for me.
I understand, because I'm ready to tear Helena up.
And when we get to talk about Helena,
I'm gonna do a whole segment just on her.
I realize why I don't like her, and I don't know if I should tell y'all this now.
We're gonna get to it. Okay, so let's see. So where did I stop?
Betty exposing Josh.
Yeah, Betty Betty
exposing Kevin.
Exposing Kevin to Josh. Josh was like, I know you mother effing lying. He was in the diary room like, I can't wait to put they behind on the block. I can't believe Kev played me. It's funny how he don't even acknowledge Helena, though. If y'all noticed that in the diary room, it's because that's his pet. Kev is like a little poodle. You know, follows behind him and follows his orders: sit, play, stay, you know, vote, evict, whatever, you know. So that happened. So they finally
went throughout sit, play, stay.
Evict.
Listen, all of that, child. So
Helena is Kevin's backpack this whole season.
There you go. Backpack.
Oh, we're gonna get to Helena. We're gonna get to
her. We're gonna do a whole segment on that, child. So anyway, pretty much throughout the entire week, Kevin and Helena were going back and forth on who to evict. Oh, a veto happened. Helena won, whatever. They was going back and forth on either to keep Josh or to keep JCL. So they kept going back and forth. JCL gave a pretty good pitch. She pretty much said, at the end of the day, like, Betty is still here with her number one person. You took Gino from me. You took my number one person. So why are you not taking hers? Which kind of makes sense. Like, you know what? That's right. Like, basically, it's obvious that Kevin and Helena were final twos. Y'all can stay final two in this game, but if you're going to try to get to the end, why don't you take a final 2 from everybody, or their person? Betty and Josh is, they work together, so why wouldn't you break that up? So they kept going back and forth. Said, no, we're gonna keep Josh. No, we're gonna keep JCPenney. No, we're gonna keep Josh. No, we're gonna keep it just kept going back and forth. Until finally they decided to keep Josh. Now they was playing in Josh's face, but luckily this happened after Ed had told Josh, all this information. They was laughing and giggling and trying to play Josh, saying, should we keep him? Should we keep Josh? And it was like in front of this face, like, why would y'all do that for this face? That's not cute. And so basically Kevin said, if you throw the Final Four HOH, we're going to keep you. And he was just like, okay, cool. And then this man and Dio like, y'all at y'all gosh darn bad if you think I'm going to throw the HOH. Knowing this man been throwing comps all season. I said, watch this man just
king of throwing.
But how are they so fooled by Josh coming second in like he kept coming second?
Yes,
what do you think
purposely.
Well, because
Johnny has 4 apples. Like,
he had too much protection.
What it was, Kevin believed that, well, Josh has done everything I've told him so far in his game.
Yep. So
why wouldn't he do this now? And so that was the fault in his game. He thought his control, but he didn't know the chink. Betty already found the chink in his game and already exposed it. So he didn't know that his game and how he's been manipulating Josh had already been exposed, and that he lost his power and his hold that he had. So that he was like, he woke up from the spell that he's been under all season. And so when it came time to do what he needed to do.
But why would Josh, he has seen Josh send home person after person after person Josh was supposed to be close to. What makes this man think that Josh isn't going to do the same thing to him? Like, he just thinks he's going to progress through the game and Josh just lets him win $100,000?
Well, he's shown.
He be flirting with him.
He's shown Kevin pretty much unfettered loyalty this entire game.
Flirt if he wanted to. But anyway, we'll get to that.
Yep. Okay, so. Anyways, they kept going back and forth, and Helena playing in the face like, my heart tells me to keep Josh, but my head tells me to keep JCPenney. I was screaming at the TV, girl, ain't nobody gonna keep evict nobody until Kevin tell you to. And it's funny because in the DR, Kevin goes, I'm gonna let Helena do whatever she want to do for this week. But when it come down to it, when they get ready for that vote, I'm going to push Helena to what I want her to do.
Yes, to do what's best for my game.
And did. So anyways, in conclusion, JCPenney left, went home. She was evicted unanimously by Helena and Kevin. And then what was interesting to me, Kevin did a great goodbye message. He did a goodbye message and told JCPenney, he said, you were great in the game. I have to be very honest with you. Like, I have a final 2 with Helena. I have an alliance of 3 with me, Helena, and Josh. And that's, ultimately the reason why I had to keep Josh over you. And I know if you stayed in the game, you would have beat me, basically hyping her head up, saying you was good. You was great. I had to get rid of you because you would have beat me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I had to evict you, but he patted her on the back on the way out, which... In the world, humans, that's all we want is some appreciation. He gave her appreciation. Because before she was cussing him out in the house or whatever. Because baby, the way she turned her tune to praising Kevin's game, but we're gonna get to that. And then they cue Helena's message. Helena goes, JCPenney, you're a very smart, confident woman. I know you're not gonna respect my vote, but you was too busy in the game for love and not the game or something like that. Basically, saying she was all up on Gino and wasn't worried about the game, which was true.
Being messy.
Yeah, she was being messy, but she was still true. And she was just like, you was all for that. And she said, but you're outside the house and I'm inside the house. And then Jason was like, get this girl, get off my camera. Bye. She was not. I know Jason wanted to cuss her out right there, child. Because Lord, Helena and JCPenney, they got a mean girl spirit. And I know if know how Canada is very, very particular, how they don't want you to cuss, and they be like, Canada's watching. Baby, I know she was biting her lips, but she was like, whatever.
It was weird, and it's so much weird energy coming from Helena because that was your little girl to go to and gossip and kiki and hee hee ha ha all season long. And now.
Go ahead, Eric.
No, that's what I was saying. And now, like, you leave a goodbye message like that, nasty and like
I liked it.
catty.
I thought it was.
liked
I mean,
she's
I
going
thought
into
it
the
was
jury house.
hilarious. It was
She's
just
taking that to
stupid
the
of
jury
her.
with her.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think so though.
Helena already.
I don't think so because Helena because JL doesn't respect her game. Okay, that's one thing. She doesn't really like her. That's two things. So you might as well just get off your chest what you're gonna get off your chest. Because if Helena would have left a schmoozy goodbye message, what would JL have said? She would have said, "Oh, Helena's being so fake. She's being so fake with me right now." So she left
her fake.
And listen, I don't like Helena at all. Like at all. Like I don't like the type of gameplay, and I don't like her. But let's be real, like that's not going to affect anything if JL is not going to vote for her anyway. And even if she is, then a nasty goodbye message is not going to affect that, because at the end of the day, people are voting based on game. No, it won't, because she doesn't respect her, and she doesn't respect her game anyway. So she might as well just say what she wants to say.
Look, I get that. But when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you have somebody trying to vote for you to win $100,000. Yes. So Helena and JC Lynn, they kind of got into it a couple of times throughout the week. JCL, she's pretty. When she get to it, she kind of to her face. She basically said, before the vote happened, that I pretty much turned Kevin. And when Kevin flipped back, you flip. But let's be real, like, you gonna do what Kevin do. Helena didn't like that or whatever, which is the truth. Like, how many times have people told you this? Like, just real, like, own up to it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so I think that was the reason for the catty message. But listen, people go to juries and things change. You have people in your ears telling you A, B, C, or D. You know what I'm saying? Now, get it. Granted, she, of course, at the end, before this goodbye message happened, JCPenney could care less about Helena. She was not feeling it, whatever. She could have just said, "Hey, I'm sorry. You know, I had to do it for my game. I respect you. You're a great player. I hope we can, be cool on the outside, whatever." You know, she could have said anything. She could have just said something basic. And the lasting memory in her head would have been like, at least she just gave me a little raggedy, basic goodbye message. But now it's stuck in her head that she done gave me this crazy goodbye message, because what if, JCPenney doesn't like Betty because she thinks Betty put her up emotionally. So what if it gets down to Betty and Helena, and just say JCPenney?
I think JL is going to vote for Helena.
And listen, if it comes in between those two, because of that message, that one little message could be the difference between her voting for Helena and Betty. Like, yes, Betty put me up.
So. I just don't think so.
Because I don't know.
You underestimate bitters. Like, she literally said.
Think about even like Ty last year. Everybody said swore up and down. Ty has bad jury management, and then what happened?
Racist was saying that.
The jury.
Ty
told Beth. He told that girl enjoy jury, Beth, and she still voted for him.
Well, that's Ty.
I don't think enjoy jury was that mean.
But also,
yes, it was. It's like, hey, you got enjoy get out here. You're gone.
But here's the thing.
I think enjoy jury, Beth, was actually worse than Helena's message.
I think that what Teresa's saying, like, just because, like, she could be petty. Like, if you've seen JCL's exit interview, she was like, the bitter is jury. The jury is bitter, and for her to leave a message like that, that's gonna add on to her personal feelings, and it could be like, in the last moment, she could have been voting for Helena up until for whatever, because she wanted to, if it's against Betty. But she could be like, you know what, just to be petty, here's my vote for Betty, and it could cost her the game. We've seen people lose the game for less, and so I just thought it was weird, because throughout this game they appeared to have a personal relationship, and I just don't think she regarded that in terms of the game.
They didn't. They had like a basic camaraderie, but they did not like each other. Their relationship broke down.
Yeah, they had a little mean girl relationship.
The game,
but a mean girl gonna vote for a mean girl.
Well, I think if she was already gonna vote for her, then she's still gonna vote for her. If the vote wasn't there, then it's the goodbye message isn't gonna affect anything, because she doesn't have her vote.
We don't know that. But we don't know that. So I mean, at the end of the day, JCPenney in her little exit interviews basically said her order of who she thinks she would vote for, and it went Kevin, Josh, Betty, and Helena.
And Helena last, right? But Helena would have been last regardless of the message.
We don't know that.
But it's
true. If we hadn't heard that message, it might have been different. Wait, hold on, Reese. But before she had heard those goodbye messages, she was saying that she was going to take Helena and Kevin to final 2. She said, I was holding true to that.
So that she would have a better chance at winning, though. It's her.
Exactly.
The jury would have been in Leo's favor. But just because you take somebody to final 2 doesn't mean you're going to want to vote for them to win. She was telling Helena to her face, she's basically Kevin's backpack. Y'all think she's going to vote for Helena to win regardless? Like, I would say the same thing. Like, oh, well.
Maybe.
And then I would have said, well, if you don't vote for me, you don't respect women playing. How about that? You don't respect good. I thought you were a feminist. You don't respect good gameplay. That's all it is. You're just mad at a catty message. Here's another one.
But you're in the jury.
You don't know what's gonna happen in the jury. When you get to the jury, it's different from when you in the house. When you're in the house, you're only gonna get A, B, and C information. When you get to the house, you get an A through Z. So they might fill her head with other information, like, yeah, Helena was acting like a bitch, but you know what? As I gather this and this and these pieces, she might can get my vote. But I'm just saying there is a possibility. I'm not saying it does or doesn't. She gonna get the vote or not. But that just puts a no in the Helena column. Like, it was unnecessary. Now, I enjoy the catty messages. Like, I'm old school BB. Like, I would have welcomed Helena saying, I voted you out because you was a bitch. Bye. Like, I would have welcomed that. And I would have said yes. You know what I'm saying? I would have enjoyed that.
But it's also like, now she don't vote for you for whatever reason. It could be, we don't know what she's based on it now. She don't vote for you. Don't look crazy.
Basing it off of whatever Gino does, that's what she gonna do. Whatever the majority of the house go, that's what she gonna vote for to win.
And if you know what, you're right, because if we go back to the jury videos from week before, Gino was low-key kind of praising Helena. So there is a possibility she could get there, but I hope she don't. But there is a possibility, because he was talking to Moose and was like, nah, Helena's running this and this and that. I'm sure that's going to change, because JCPenney going to go in there, and whoever comes after is going to say, the A, B, C, D, or whatever.
She going to that jury house talking about Kevin.
Yes,
Josh,
because Kevin, she was hyping Kevin up in all them exit interviews. She think Kevin and Josh are like running the game. And she thinks Betty put her up emotionally, which whatever. I think it's just because I don't have no game relationship with you. Like, I don't have no trust with you. It's the Final Four. That's why I put you up. But Helena, JCPenney just sees it as an emotional vote. But Betty never came out and did anything directly like mean to her. She never, said anything. So I don't know. It could be a toss up in her. But let me finish this up.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Reese. Kiki, if you want to.
No, because it's probably going to take it in another direction. So I'm gonna let you finish. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, update y'all. So after we got that, we did get some jury feeds. Not feeds, but little clips. We saw them go into the house, and that's when we saw Herms meet Moose, and then we saw. Oh no, we already saw Herms meet Moose, but we saw the Gino, Summer, and I don't know that other man's name. They had got into the jury house, and they welcomed them in, and they told them pretty much, Josh put up Betty, and he put up Summer. Summer said, I'm be petty. Da, 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 da. So they did all that, and they kind of went through, the things that happened in the house since they've been gone, and the triple eviction. And Summer was being petty. Summer, she was trying to hook up on Gino. Stand up, girl, stand up. But pretty much wraps the episodes, and we can lead into feeds with Reese. She can keep us updated on where we at now.
Feeds,
girl.
Well, prior to this week, one of the biggest caveats of Kevin wanting to keep Kevin and Helena wanting to keep Josh was that the condition was that Josh would throw HOH. Josh apparently told them he would be throwing the HOH competition. Lo and behold, the final for HOH, none other than Joshua Nash. So no, he did not throw the HOH. Before I proceed, how stupid do you have to be to think somebody is going to throw HOH at Final Four?
Stupid. That was ridiculous. Like, really?
I think he wanted to keep Josh in this game so badly that all logic was just going out of his mind for that. Not only that, he one of his biggest qualms was that he didn't want whoever to stay to sweep the next 3 competitions, right? Like, okay, Josh joined HOH, that's gonna be good. And then Kevin probably was like, I want an I can win HOH. Which, in my opinion, Kevin's game looks very weak right now because now Josh has won an HOH. So he's the only person left in the house who has
2
only
HOHs
one comp win. Say it one more time.
I said that's 2 HOHs now.
Yeah, right. Josh basically won HOH back to back. Like, he won at the triple, then Betty won. He wasn't eligible for that one, and now he wins this one, the one that he's eligible for. So, that's one of the reasons why they got rid of GL. They were like, oh yeah, she could probably sweep all 3. Josh could probably sweep all 3. I wasn't convinced that anybody could sweep the next 3 competitions because of the pressure, but maybe I'm not correct about that. So the feeds opened back up after Josh's won HOH. The ghosts, if you don't know who the ghosts are, it's Kevin and Helena.
When did they establish this name?
I don't even know.
That was weeks. Yeah, weeks ago.
Supposedly the ghosts happened on day 2. So it just hasn't been in the edit that much, but really no alliance has really been in the edit because there really hasn't been an alliance except for Ghost Peppers. Not Ghost Peppers. What is the name of that?
Crash Test Dummies.
Has pretty much been the only alliance in the house.
Yeah, that's the only one that actually showcased this
right.
year. Now think about it.
Literally the only one that really mattered.
Yeah.
But so the ghosts were lamenting the fact that they kept Josh because he won HOH and Kevin just was flabbergasted. He couldn't believe that Josh lied. How dare he go? He's being disobedient to me. How dare he look out for his own interest in this game? This is my 100K. So
not the pet turning on the owner.
And he's a very petty person, by the way. Like, apparently last week Betty was saying like she didn't know all the prices in the showcase thing, and Kevin thought that was just like so ridiculous. Like, he kept bringing it up with different people. Like, can you believe Betty said she doesn't know the prices? Can you believe Josh? She said she doesn't know the prices. I just don't understand why Betty is saying she doesn't know the prices. Like, I don't understand why that got so much under his skin. Like, you need to relax.
Because she made it to the final round in tiebreaker round guessing.
Right, like give it a rest, Buster Blues. So anyway, so they were flabbergasted, and Helena was just like accepting. She was just like, it's fine. She was like, JL could have won HOH too, which I firmly believe that they still would have lost to JL. But Josh trying to figure out who he wants to put up. He apparently wanted to put up the ghosts, Kevin and Helena. Then he has a little talk with Betty. Says, I'm putting up Kevin and Helena. This is the best thing, but it doesn't really matter because then we have the video coming up. And then Betty was like, I think at one point Josh told her he was a little hesitant to put up Helena because she has that little never nommed stat.
That's so stupid.
And yeah.
Child.
What you say?
I thought you said pause real quick. I'm sorry.
No, I said I would have broken that stat real quick. Like, I don't care. You ain't been on the block all season.
You do realize I don't want you to win, right? The way I would have just threw her up just so she don't say that. That's literally her only game.
But also in my mind, and then Betty had a reasoning for it. But prior to the conversation Josh had with Betty, him and Kevin were talking about whether or not Josh should put up Helena because of her stat. But also, in my opinion, if Josh doesn't put up Helena, she may think more. She may give the argument, like, let's say she wins next week, the final HOH, she may take Josh over Kevin just because he didn't destroy that stat. And also Betty brought up the point that Kevin, if Helena goes unnominated, he may choose Josh because who wants to go to the end with a person who has never been nominated? That's basically just giving them.
I wouldn't care if she ain't did nothing else in the game.
Yeah, she's done nothing else in this game.
But it's hard because they don't know that the jury could care less.
And pitch. And also, I don't think the jury really cares that Helena went unnominated. Like, so what? So
that's the only thing they acknowledge about her game. Like, oh yeah, she hasn't been nominated. So, anyways, what else happened in the game?
No one cares about her.
It's an afterthought. Yeah.
Exactly. And even like last year, with Ty's stat, which was way more impressive, by the way, because only 2 North American players has that same stat. But anyway, I'm digressing. Last year, he I don't think he even brought that up in his final speech, which angered me because I thought it was a good pitch. But anyway, so then Josh was like, okay, well, I'll do I'll do you, Betty, and Kevin. And it wasn't an okie doke this time on Betty. Betty knew, she was fully aware of it. She said it's fine if she went up. So then
Josh, I hope you flop.
Why? Betty said it was fine. I think it makes sense.
I know, but it wasn't fine with me. It wasn't fine with me. Josh told Betty, I will never betray you again. I don't care.
Didn't, though. He didn't. They talked about the night.
But he did. It don't matter if Betty said okay anyways. It don't matter. At the end of the day, you said you weren't gonna do something as my friend in the game, and you put me up. You ain't right, you foul. Josh,
they talked about it though. It's not. He didn't pull an okie doke on her this time. It's like
it wasn't okie doke, but he still betrayed her.
She's the one who came up with this. She's the one who said like, "Hey, it's okay. I get it. It does though. It's not a betrayal. It's not like
it's just a personal thing because
personally Helena to touch that block. Matter. You already played her once.
Anyway,
listen, in the game,
the veto on her,
especially when the veto is the key. It didn't even matter she was going on the block. So you could have just put up Kevin and Helena.
But if it doesn't matter because of the veto anyway, she would have went up. Why can't Betty go up? Because noms don't matter.
Then if she would have went up, then it would have been like there's nobody else left in the house. So it didn't matter then. But if it didn't matter and they kept putting so much emphasis on it, you've already betrayed me once. Yeah, we've talked about it. Yeah, we done got back together.
But personally, hold on. Betrayal.
But personally, and I'm not saying this, I'm not speaking for Betty. Personally, the way that would have happened, the fact that you even thought about putting me up, I was a second thought. Your first thought was like, well, Helena and her,
that's not true.
Going on the
because
block.
He was going to nominate Kevin and Helena.
It is true.
It's not though. It's not like his first inclination wasn't to put up Betty and Kevin. His first inclination was to put up Kevin and Helena. That was his plan.
But his only reasoning for not putting up Helena is because he didn't want to break her not going on the block thing.
And to me, that's
why is that a bad thing? Because this is the other thing. Josh knows that Kevin and Helena have a final 2, right? They're taking each other to the end. So why not do something that would make Helena possibly take you over Kevin? That's why the move makes sense to me. Is it what I would have done? No, I would have put Kevin and Helena up.
Do we really think Josh is thinking that deep though? To me,
yes,
to be honest,
I think so.
I don't feel like
because
Josh
him and Betty talked about it.
Mm-mm.
I don't know.
I just think for me
that was one of the reasons that Betty gave to Josh is that if Helena is unnominated at the end of this, he may take you over her. Because of that stat, because nobody wants to sit next to somebody who was basically unnominated, and then in the same way, he still stays, even though it's like final 3, he's still good with her in my book. That's
Helena gonna take Kevin regardless. I 99% believe she gonna take Kevin if Helena go. But yeah, we talking about Helena like she gonna win. She going home.
Who has not had a decision on her own this entire game?
Mm-hmm.
True.
That's why I was like, here's why I was like, Helena should have just went at 1 because of her stat, but I don't think it was gonna give him any favor with her. If she would have won final 3 and it was between him and Kevin, she was still taking Kevin because that's her final 2, and that's what she does. She's shown that she never gonna take nobody that don't have more pigmentation than she do to the final 2. Ooh. Kevin would not have chosen Josh over her. Because he was like, "Oh, I controlled Helena's entire game, whether she was nominated or not."
It's still a possibility that something like that could have happened. Though
I don't think that would have.
It's a possibility.
I would rather take that possibility than just get rid of all options. Because then at least he could say, "Well, I was loyal to Kevin and Helena the whole game." At least he has one of those going for his game. Mm-hmm. I think it makes sense in a game standpoint, but because we know these players, and because it seems so like another personal shot, another betrayal again. It's not like that though in reality. I think for the most part they're thinking logically.
I was just thinking game wise. For me as a player, I'm just taking out that stat whether you was in my alliance or not. I'm taking it out.
Personally and game wise, it was just stupid.
But I have a feeling though, like you wouldn't play like Josh though. Like you just wouldn't. So then it wouldn't matter to you. You're in more of like a Betty situation where the stat doesn't matter to you because you don't care about Helena and you wouldn't have aligned with her anyway. So take it out. But it's not the same thing for Josh. Josh is aligned with, quote unquote, aligned with them. So I think even in that case it makes even more sense. Like
it would make more sense if he was still loyal to Kevin and Helena.
Exactly.
But DRs did show us that Kevin and Helena is on Josh get out list. So if he hadn't had those DRs, then it would make sense to me. But the fact that he was in the the fact that he was in the DRs saying, I cannot wait to put Kevin and Helena on the block, and then next week put Betty and Kevin on the block.
But that's what he was gonna do in the beginning of the game. I feel like you guys aren't even acknowledging that at the beginning of the week he was gonna put up Kevin and Helena. It's not like a thing where he was straight up gonna put up Betty and Kevin. And it's not a backstab because Betty basically came to him with this idea. So if you're coming to me with this idea, it's better for my game because at least can't y'all agree that at least he curries at least a little favor with Helena, not destroying that stat?
Think so. No.
So you're saying that Helena does not appreciate the fact that Josh didn't put her up this week to keep the stat
this week, but she's not gonna care about that tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But she won't care about that if she's in final 3. That's gonna be out of her mind.
But you don't know that anything can happen in final 3.
Just like we don't know that it would curry favor. So my thing is,
you guys are saying this like it was a betrayal of Betty.
Never said that.
I
said for me personally.
I think it's a betrayal personally. That's why I said in the game it might be a different story. But from what I've watched and what I've seen, you've already betrayed Betty. He could have betrayed her. It's a game. He could have said that, but when you spoke it out your mouth, you know what? I won't betray you again. I promise I'll never backstab you again. He did. He said that to Betty. He didn't say that to Betty.
I didn't say he didn't say it to
Betty.
I
was like, he didn't say that.
I heard a second time.
Here's the thing for me. I'm not saying that it's a betrayal.
If I say to you, Treese, hold on, Eric. If I say to you, Treese, I'm not gonna put you up, but it's Treese and Eric it's all of us in the final 4. I want final HOH because I would in real life. Final for HOH, Keeper's HOH. I would in real life. Anyway, so I say to you, you're not going on the block ever again. But Eric got an unnominated stat, so I'm gonna put up Eric and Kiki, and then you come to me in my HOH room and you say, in order for Kevin, in order to give him more of a reason to bring you to final 2, you should actually leave Eric off the block. What am I going to say? That I'm going to hear you out and be like, yeah, that's better for my game, actually.
I'm going to say,
it's better for my game.
Are you think I'm going to put you up? You do know I'm trying to go to final 2, but you know.
But if you're the one who came to me with the argument, you're the one who
I wouldn't come to you with the argument. I'm not stupid enough to volunteer myself to be on the block. Betty.
Nobody would do that. None of us here would do that. But if you came to me and said, if you put me on the block, it's fine. Well, then it's fine. I'm just gonna.
Here's the thing.
If I were to make that statement, I would be saying that just to test your loyalty, to test Josh's loyalty.
But she wasn't. That's not what she was. Literally,
we don't know. We didn't see DRs yet.
But I would be very curious.
She's fine with it. It's fine.
I would be very curious to know because it's almost like I almost think of it as
I can't wait to talk to Betty.
Self-sabotage.
I cannot wait.
It's like a sabotaging move to me. Mm-hmm. Like, because had Josh not won the freaking veto, Betty would be going home.
Mm-hmm.
After voluntarily going on the block.
Veto, though. It's Betty and Josh fault. It's both of them.
But
why would you volunteer to go on the block? B, why would you put the person?
But y'all, it's final 4 though. The noms don't even matter.
Actually, as of now, they do matter because Josh won veto. If Josh decided not to use the veto, noms matter. Betty would be going.
Here's my thing, and I think you brought up a point. It was like it would be different yeah, she agreed. Woe with me, put me on the block so you can keep this, that for her, and they may choose you.
It wasn't an
Whatever.
agreeing thing. She
But
said, if
here's
you
the
put me,
thing.
it's not
Okay,
like
that's
Josh
fine.
came
But
to her
here's what
first.
I'm saying though, Reese. The thing is, if he still had complete trust and loyalty in them, that's fine. But he doesn't, and he has no intentions of being loyal to them anymore.
Okay,
I
so
don't
are
care.
you? So
We
are
gonna
you
fight it
saying?
out. Final
So
three.
are
I
you?
beat you before. I'm gonna beat you again. So both of y'all can take your seat, and we'll just duke it out in
Okay,
final
so
three.
are you saying just because you don't trust somebody that you should make a move against your own game? Because it to me it doesn't
It's
matter if
not.
you trust him or not. Of course he doesn't trust them, but if one of them win the final HOH and he doesn't, having something in his back pocket that could help him move to the final two, that's just a good move to me.
I don't think
it's not like a trust thing at that
in
point.
this situation, it doesn't matter because Josh already knows that Kevin and Helena want to get rid of him, so it's irrelevant.
Okay, but
I would say, he doesn't have the fees like we do, but he do know that Kevin is ready to get rid of him. He know Helena, Kevin gonna do, Helena gonna do everything Kevin do.
Anything could happen at the final three. Somebody could make a good argument that
I agree. So
Kevin will beat you,
move
Helena, if you take him. I mean, that could happen. So, like I said, anything to stack the chips in his deck, he should do it. But I mean, there were different avenues to his feet.
I don't think that's the move, though. I don't think that. I just would have been like, yeah, y'all going up there. The argument is it doesn't matter because win veto and y'all will be safe because if whether I put a Betty or not, if she wins veto, one y'all both gonna be up there anyway. So I'm just gonna put y'all up there initially, and we just gonna hope she don't win veto. That's an argument he could do some, beforehand type of, damage control, and that's how he could have got rid of that rather than splitting it up half and half because her sake and because Betty asked him to. But I think we've covered this enough and talked about this enough.
No, but I'm not finished talking about it and covering it. How about no? I'm just kidding.
I was like, we're out there like it is well covered.
Okay,
Josh,
so
you foul.
He nominated.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
He nominated Kevin and Betty. Kevin was still in the midst of his whole I can't believe Josh won HOH freak out. So fees went down again, and lo and behold, the winner of the veto.
Wait, hold on, Reese. Hold on. You have, bruh, the way Kevin freaked out, you got to put some more emphasis on that. That man was, what's the word, Eric? Befuddled? Is that correct?
He was frazzled.
He was frazzled. Give us a word. Give us an adjective, Eric.
Confounded.
He was distraught. He's whatever Eric just said times 2. He was shook.
Love to see Kevin in his little little shook era because he just knew this game won. Like he really did. And for Josh to win 2 back-to-back comps like that, I think it shook him to his core, to the depths of who he is. But
Kevin just knew he was gonna win the final HOH. Like he knew. He was just like, yeah, he been throwing these comps. He half-assed won that one against Gino. Like Gino would have beat him if he knew how to spell. Exactly. But literally, that's literally the one only cop you would. Kevin had it planned. He like, yeah, I'm gonna win this.
Child,
he's just in distress and despair because he's like, my plans to get to the end are over.
Baby, I ain't never seen him shook like that all season. He was
me either.
Hurt.
I've never seen the ghosts look like that. They were just like
they were looking like ghosts.
So funny.
Listen, was.
And then there was this clip where it looked like Josh was practicing what he was gonna say because he woke up in the middle of the night, I guess, to get something to drink. Josh loves snacks. He's always eating something. And it sounded like the clip says and Betty, I have a secret. Some people heard, and Betty, I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. But that was the only clip. Yeah, I heard Betty, I have a secret. Mm-hmm. And so people were trying to figure out, what does this mean? Does he mean he's going to tell Betty about CTDs? Does this mean he's cutting Betty? I was very light on my predictions on what Josh was going to do because people were saying, well, Josh won the veto. That means he's going to use it on Betty. I wasn't ready to say a statement like that. Because I know Josh.
Because why, Reese? Because Joshua is a betrayer.
He is.
He's too capricious. We don't know what he's gonna do.
I wasn't sure.
Okay, I'm gonna let it go.
I think Betty is about to go to jury. That's my.
Really?
I know you didn't want to.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think she is.
I think Josh is finally going to.
I think he's gonna. As I can see him, throw him, whatever.
That's true.
I don't
That's true.
Him.
That's why I said he's too capricious for me. To have this decision in his hands.
The only thing we have to go by right now is his behavior. I'm not going off of his words. His words have not meant anything in this game. So if I'm going off behavior alone, Betty's likely going home. And I can be good and wrong.
But we'll get to that part. So after the veto, nobody was pitching to Josh, which was weird to me. I was like,
what's going on?
They know they're about to have an instant eviction, or maybe some of them don't watch the show, so they don't know the instant eviction is coming.
They thought it was the next day. They didn't know it was today.
Right. They thought they had it in the bag. That's why.
They thought what?
They feel like they had it in the bag. Like they feel like they knew. Two of the people knew. They just knew that the noms are going to stay the same.
And they were even
Betty's going home.
The ghosts were even talking about like having a fake fight, and it's weird to me to try to have a fake fight at 4,
especially at 4.
Okay, it is what it is. So Kevin went up to Josh and he was like, well, if you want to use the veto on B, you could use the veto on B if you want. I could just vote however you want to. I really don't want to vote for Helena. We could just get rid of Betty right here. So, and Josh was like, so who do you, who would you vote for? And he was asking him like, okay, so to get rid of Betty, how does that benefit me? Like, how does that benefit my game? And then Kevin got a little tripped up. And the reason why Kevin is tripped up is because he can't control Josh. Like, he thought he could. Like, he wanted to dictate what Dr. Nash
Yeah, that control is gone. He could before Betty won HOH, and he's told Betty he wanted Josh out before he could.
Kevin, but now that Josh has mismanaging Josh lost him this game. Like,
absolutely.
All he had to do was like
100% agree.
Somebody has a crush on you. How do you mismanage that? Josh was basically in love with him. How does he mismanage that? Because he's not the player everybody thinks he is. But anyway, so they were having, and it was really, really awkward. Whenever Josh and Kevin have like tension between them, they have these really awkward conversations with
very
all those long pauses. They giggle to themselves. At one point, Josh was laughing in Kevin's face. I thought it was funny.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that, man. Swirling his little drink. He was like this.
Drinking his little coffee, enjoying his 5th coffee of the day, laughing in Kevin's face. So Kevin goes downstairs and talks to Helena. He's defeated again. He's like, well, Josh, he was just laughing in my face. I can't believe he would do that. Nigga, last week when Josh was on the block, y'all was laughing in this nigga face.
It
Why
was.
Did enjoy his iced coffee and laugh in your face? Tell me, Kevin.
Oh, how the turntable.
Laugh in his face. The turntable.
And then, so it was awkward with them. And then my girl Betty went up to the HOH. First of all,
Business B
went up to the HOH. First of all, she practiced her speech like a lot. And the thing about Betty, she talks to herself and answers herself. So we pretty much knew her pitch. So she goes up there and she's like, I'm so happy for you. Whatever you want to do is fine with me. You can, if you don't use the veto on me, then I'll still vote for you in jury. Which everybody was like kind of getting upset that Betty said that, but I didn't think it was a really bad move because it takes the pressure.
I'm gonna say this.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. Ain't no. I don't. It was whatever you want to do.
No,
I'll still vote for you in jury. No. You better use this veto on me. You better take me up off this block.
You remember last week?
Go ahead. I'll let y'all finish.
You better save me, because if you don't, after all this, you betrayed me. We were paired. I even volunteered to go up here to help you, since this is the part to help his game, to help your game, just in case. You better take me off this block, because if you keep me on here and I go home, I promise you, what I'm taking to the jury, this is Kevin's game. This is Helena's game. Josh has done nothing. Josh has been controlled and puppeteered throughout this entire thing. He does not deserve one vote. So your best bet is to take me off this block. There is no, it's whatever you want to do. No, I'm telling you.
So you would do that even to somebody you had a good relationship with? Because they have
I wouldn't win.
I probably won't be in this tone, but it's gonna be like, I know you're using the veto because I'm coming off this block. You're gonna keep me. Otherwise, you're gonna lose this game if you make it to final 2.
Okay, let me say. So in that situation, I think Betty could have left her speech the exact same. I would have just left out the part, do what's best for you. I'm gonna vote for you regardless. No, sir, I'm not. You know what? I respect you using the veto. I would love for you to use it on me. I'm so glad that we repaired our relationship. We're gonna be good. For the rest of this game, you're gonna be my final two. There's no way I'm picking Helena or Kevin over you. You need to remember who manipulated you in this game and who was your friend in this game. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And I think it worked in Betty's favor. And I do think Josh, we don't know, but we do think Josh did use the veto on Betty. This is what I assume. And I think it was because of the way Betty spoke to him. Because if we go back, Kevin basically said, "You better not put Mia, Helena on the block. You better not do this. You better, basically saying, pointing and telling him,
like to be told
A, B, C, D. Exactly. So I will say, which Eric, I know you ain't seen that conversation because you don't watch feeds because you're a casual. So that was like, hold on, Eric. Look, I'm sorry I had to call you out because I know you didn't see that conversation because I was like, hold on, Eric, that's wrong.
I'm saying I wouldn't tell this to him, but I'm saying like in my diary room, like this is how I would be.
Because like,
diary room, a different thing.
Y'all know I got more finesse than that. Okay. I would be. Oh, Josh, I'm so congratulations.
Yeah. Look, Betty,
what we doing?
Betty just appealed to the emotional side of Josh and the friend side. And she's like, you know what? I'm gonna respect your game regardless. I would not have said I'm gonna vote for you regardless because who knows what's gonna happen. Yeah,
that would have been left out for sure.
I'm not gonna say no matter what happens, no, ain't no matter what happens, sir. I respect your game and I respect your decision. I hope you use that veto on me. I want you to use that veto on me. We repaired our relationship and let's continue to move forward in this game. And you already know if I win final two, you already know who's coming. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts.
I want you to use this veto on me because I'm the only one that's taking you to final two. I just don't believe they're taking you, Josh. If I'm being honest,
and she did say that at one point in the conversation. She said, "If you don't use the veto on me, then Kevin and Helena are going to take each other. Helena takes Kevin. If you use it on Kevin, Kevin's going to take Helena. So you would have to use it on me." So she actually did say that part. But I just think her being more soft is what Josh appreciated more than use the veto on me, or I'm not going to vote for you for jury. Because to me, that would have made me want to evict her. Like if she just says, "Well, I'm not going to vote for you." Well, fine, bye. We don't even have to continue this conversation. Goodbye. They'll go to the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out.
On the cool, yeah, I agree with you. I would have been like, okay, well, you can go home.
It's like, who you talking to?
Exactly. Which is exactly why I think, because if we looked on the feeds didn't come back until, I think, 6 a.m., 7 a.m. daytime. And you could see Josh was up and we didn't know who won veto. I said, I guarantee you Josh won veto because he is going through in his mind, like, should he use the veto? Should he not? Because even though he was upset about Kevin manipulating him, he still has a relationship with that man. So he's still going back and forth. I have this relationship with Betty and I have this relationship with Kevin. Mm-hmm. And I honestly think literally right before that instant eviction and Kevin going, I would be really mad at you if you don't, if you use this veto, I'd be really upset. Basically telling him like, you put me up and it's curtains for you. And I know Josh did not like that.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. So and then the conversation continued. He told Betty, he was like, you're my best friend in this game. And he was like, I really he basically told her he was using a veto on her. He said, your loyalty is something that I really admire. And I think people like that should make it to the final three, like should go further in this game. And he said, I probably shouldn't have said that because they probably told Josh the same thing they told Tara, in that they told her season 9 that she could not say if she was using the veto or not.
Yeah, I agree. Because he was dancing around
That's
it.
actually part of the rules, Reese. I don't know.
Technically, they're not supposed to do it throughout the whole game.
You're not supposed to tell people who you nominate. You're not supposed to say who you nominated or if you're going to use the veto or not. Technically, that's in the rules, but people do it all the time. Yeah. I guess like when it gets down to just 4 people, it's easier to manage. Like, listen.
One time I needed him to break a rule. Jesus.
And it's more, I guess it's more tense. It brings more drama because you don't know what they're going to do at 4. Even though we knew she was evicting Kiefer at 4. Mm-hmm. So he said that, and he basically was like, who are you going to if I use a veto on you, who would you evict? And it seemed like Josh wanted to evict Helena, and then it seemed like Betty wanted to evict Kevin, and they were like kind of talking about which one was better. They both said both routes have pros and cons, which I can see. I think leaving Kevin in the game is a little bit more dangerous. Even though he can't win a comp to save his life, so I think that's the route that's why Josh wanted to go that route. And then with Helena, she could possibly win in the final 3 HOH. So I think that they both have pros and cons. Huh?
I was saying, so she thinks.
Right. So if Josh had more time to talk to Betty before he used the veto on her, I think that probably Helena was evicted yesterday, unless Betty just stuck to her guns.
That's my guess. I think Helena got evicted. I think Josh, because pretty much Betty basically said in so many words, was like, if you use the veto on me, we can definitely talk about who you want to evict. I want to evict Kevin, but it's our game. We're trying to get there, and because you use the veto on me, I will respect. And we can talk about it. Hopefully,
and that's the conversation. That's the conversation we had before. But as soon as that veto's around my neck, I'm voting out who I want.
What's best for me? You hear me? What's best for me?
That's what I'm gonna play nice up until the veto's around my neck and be like, well, listen, I get what you want. But this is what's better.
But you would do that at final 3. I mean, at final 4 when
what's best for me? Absolutely.
With a player like Josh, though, think about it. Like Josh is winning all these competitions. You already know y'all already got a rocky relationship. Y'all repaired it. So not evicting who he wants to evict at final 4 would be a bad look to him. It might give him more incentive to take Kevin over her.
Look, in this situation, if Josh
not Kevin, Helena over her.
I was gonna say, I think it might work in the favor of Betty. It could work for a player like Betty because I'm like, oh, he used a veto on me. He sabotaged. He's the one who broke up this alliance, this perfect game that I had in mind. And Kevin could end up taking her instead of him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think whatever.
If Betty gets Helena. No, Kevin would be
that's what I mean. Helena. I mean Helena, not Kevin.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
If I was in this situation,
he sacrificed my stat. He didn't broke up this alliance, this perfect thing that we had. So if I win final HH, you know what? I'm taking because she don't think that Betty could win. I'm taking Betty.
I accidentally voted for Jessica.
So
pick her mind. Y'all, I'm trying to get these votes in for her mind.
Not just got one vote.
For CFP,
Who's Jessica?
No.
She used to be on the show, child.
Oh, I was like, who is Jessica?
Jess.
Oh, I was like, who is Jessica?
You for real puzzle? Like, I don't know.
Right.
Do you guys think I'm thinking about this, right? If Helena went, if they got rid of Helena, you have Kevin. I feel like Kevin has been the winner pick from production this entire time.
Oh, for sure.
So to me, I see Kevin. I don't see anybody winning but him if he's sitting in the final 2 seats because production gets what they want a lot. And
I
think it depends. If all the black people vote together, if it's Moose, Herman, Summer, and then Betty, that's 4, right? Vote 4 in favor of Josh.
Betty's gonna be in the final 2 chairs, so she can't vote.
But if Betty's in the final, okay, well, I'm thinking it's gonna be Betty versus Kevin. Kevin will probably win the game still. But if it's Josh versus Kevin, I think he has a chance because Betty's gonna vote for him. Vote for Josh to win. That's 4.
So
I think
the only way Betty has a chance of winning is if she's sitting next to Josh.
What about
next to Kevin?
She beats Helena too.
Helena sitting against Helena.
I think Betty beats Helena. It's a close game between Kevin and Betty. Josh, I think she loses.
Yeah,
and
she only think against Josh.
And the only reason I give Josh now, a week ago, I wouldn't have said Betty would have beaten Josh. But every time we talk to the jury, they love comp wins. They love it. And that overshadows, which I wish they would look at more in the game. But they love comp wins. And the fact that Josh in the last half of the game, not even the last half, the last, has gotten 4 comp wins. 9 times out of 10, he about to win a 5th. He gonna win one of those
Final
final HOHs
yeah.
because the man has a photographic memory. He gonna win something, and you know they're gonna use days and stuff from the past. And I think that's gonna overshadow the betrayal, the lies he told, all of that. I think he's going to win that vote over
if
Betty.
If Kevin wins at the end, the final HOH, and gets to decide between Betty and Josh, is Kevin taking Josh?
I don't only Betty. Because he thinks jury hates him, I think.
Really? I think he would take Betty. I think
it would be smarter for him to take Betty, but it kind of depends on what he thinks the jury's going to do. Kevin goes through jury votes every other day.
I think he's going to take Betty because he knows Josh has his comp wins, good ones too. He took out Marty.
That's the thing that's going to stop him.
Marty and
he
Summer.
doesn't have a chance against Josh.
If he's smart, he would cut Josh.
I think he would cut him. That's why. That's just goes back to what I said. Who he was nominating this week. Kevin wasn't going to the final 2. I'm sorry. If it would have been the Crash Test Dummies in the final 3, Josh was not going to final 2 unless he won the final HOH. Right. That was the only case.
I agree. I think Josh hands down would have took Helena because Helena is the easiest to beat. The only way Kevin would win in final 2, honestly, I think, is his speech. Kevin can speak very, very well. And at the end of the day, he ain't seen some of these people in weeks. And
he can speak well and play on people's emotions.
He very much can.
Each player, each jury member by name.
Yes,
and saying something
and giving him a compliment
about each of them.
Exactly. And that's literally the only way I think I can see Kevin. Like, I don't even think he'll jokingly say, "Yeah, I might only win one comp, but I made it to these final 2 chairs." Da da da. The jury gonna probably forget about that.
I don't think Kevin can win against Josh.
How everybody brought all the information, all their burdens, and laid it in his lap. They filled his cup up with all this information day after day, week after week.
But
and they know
they're doing the same thing to Josh too.
Yeah, they were. That is true. But
they did what?
The same thing to Josh, like just bringing Josh all this information. He was the most aligned person in the house at one point. Mm-hmm. But I think Josh needs to take Betty. I think taking Kevin is probably a mistake. He gets rid of Kevin, and that's a vote for him in the jury. Even though taking Betty, that's a vote. But that getting rid of Kevin, that's basically 2 votes because Helena gonna do whatever Kevin says to do.
Yep.
So
there you go.
That's the better option.
Nail on the head.
Yep.
Do y'all think? I feel it may be a 4-4 vote, just depending on how the speeches and stuff go and how the jury is feeling, depending on who the 2 are, and then Canada's vote is going to decide.
If Canada's vote decides, then that means that Kevin's going to win. Yeah. For all those racist pricks out there.
And listen, Canada's vote is production's vote. Y'all ain't fooling me. Production ain't fooling me with these little Canada votes, America votes, all the other kind of stuff. Yep. No, if it goes to a tie and Kevin's winning,
Canada got to break it
because production wants him to win.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because, they already got their black winner, so 2 in a row? Get out of here. You got your quota last year.
Oh, my God.
Get back in line. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, obviously, Kevin is the winner pick for production to me, and I think Josh, I think they'll be pleased with either Kevin or Josh. And then Josh will be their first Indigenous winner of
I would love that.
North American,
if Betty
Big Brother.
But I think our first our prediction of Josh being final 3, I think that's gonna happen. He's gonna get
for sure. Oh wait, he is final 3.
He is final 3 already because he won the veto. Well, I mean, because he was HOH.
Yeah, I think this is the end of the road for him.
Oh, you think he's gonna be out?
I think he'll win part 1, and he's gonna lose part 3 somehow. I don't know. He's gonna lose.
So you're telling Josh, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. I think we'll see Kevin and Betty final 2.
If Josh used the veto on Betty
would lose.
Yeah, because I think Kevin's gonna win. He's gonna win the final. He's gonna pull.
You know what?
Steve and win that final HOH. Evict Josh, aka Vanessa, and
those final 2 seats are gonna be Josh and Betty at the end.
What we want, but I don't see that happening.
Okay, that's what I'm calling. I think it's gonna be Josh and Betty. It's
definitely gonna happen. He's not gonna take Kevin. Taking Kevin would be a mistake. Half the jury is gonna vote for.
Because that's you saying if he win the final HOH. If he don't win the final HOH,
unless if he don't win the final HOH, it's gonna be Kevin and Betty.
Josh has basically won 3 comps in a row. his first HOH win, that was at 5. He wasn't eligible at the next one. No, that was at 6, the double. No, that was at 8, the double. He wasn't eligible for 5. Now he's won 4. That's basically back to back, and he won the veto. That's 3 competitions he won all in a row. He's about to win the final HOH.
Yeah, I think hands down he wins final HOH. I'd be very, very, very surprised if he don't. So that's why I'm basing it off. I definitely think Josh and Betty going final 2, and I think Josh wins. Yeah, I think he wins.
Exactly.
That's my final answer for the season.
Your final answer?
And that was my podcast winner pick. So Josh wins. I would be very
Betty is my personal pick. If I personally had to pick who I wanted to win, my girl business be Betty.
Same to me. I want Betty.
I want Betty to win.
Our girl B.
If Betty can't win, if she can't win,
Josh is a nice consolation.
Josh can be a consolation.
Consolation? Kevin is my consolation. If y'all take Kevin all the way to these final 2 seats and Betty don't win.
What if you take yourself?
I don't want Kevin to win so I can keep trolling.
Kevin, the only reason why, look, Kiki, I was with you, literally. I was with you up until last week. Like, it would have been a Betty and Kevin for me. That would have been like a perfect final 2 for me. But Kevin lost me because he didn't handle himself how I thought he should have this last week. Like, that was the one thing. That was the one thing that was missing in Kevin's game is I need to see Kevin under fire. I need to see Kevin in trouble.
Yeah.
And see how he gets some stuff out of it. And Kevin lost his mind. Kevin freaked out. Maybe
we want to see Kevin in trouble.
Yes.
If he was so quote unquote Dan Giesling, he would, you know how Danielle won the final 4 HOH and veto, and Danielle was on the block. He was like, just use the veto. Then she did not have to use that veto on him because
no reason.
He was going to be safe. But just please, I'm going to keep Shane safe. Just please, just use the veto on me so I can feel safe. She used it on him, and you know what?
He said
evicted Shane, and she just could not believe it. So if he had the control, if he had the finesse, if he had the ability to get Josh to use the veto on him, then we could be like, oh, you were in trouble. You defied the odds. You got him to use the veto when he didn't have to, because you would have been safe with Helena doing the vote.
That's what
now, if you would have did that,
but
then I still would be dragging him. I'm gonna drag Kevin.
He gonna get some drag. Helena, you're irrelevant to me.
If you're here, y'all, because we were talking about like Helena going at the house.
Bro, if Helena win this season, I'm flipping my laptop.
You turning tables over?
I'm flipping my laptop, my table, and I'm flipping this dinosaur cup I'm drinking water from. I'm flipping everything if Helena. This will be a terrible season if Helena wins, bruh. And I don't want y'all to feel my passion. The way that my boil is boiling just thinking about it as a fan, I would flip.
I just personally have trouble in real life and watching the game. I have trouble when people are indecisive. Indecisiveness is like scratching the chalkboard. It's like stepping on my shoe and not apologizing for it. It's like
kicking the back of your airplane chair.
Lukewarm coffee at Starbucks. It's like, I mean, I could go on and on. It just bothers me. And indecisiveness, and when people don't have a brain of their own.
Even if she was indecisive, do that in the storage room by yourself talking to the camera. Make a decision, or just be like, you know what, I'm going to get back to you. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
We going to see. Friday is a long way away.
What makes it extra annoying is when they find out they're the swing vote and only their vote matters. Like that was it just drove me insane. So I was very happy when Helena wasn't the swing vote anymore with Josh.
Because there's so much power in that.
You're the swing vote and you have an indecisive spirit. Oh my God. Like that is weak.
That is a point of power. Like you can choose
was right about that.
Game if you're the swing vote. Like you should relish in power like that.
Look, now, JCPenney and Helena Davis both mean girls, but when JCPenney told her, like, you indecisive, you don't have a mind of your own, baby, she was speaking the facts and the truth. This was the girl that was on her knees in the background begging Kevin to stay because, once Kevin leaves, she don't have no game. Who's she going to listen to? Who's she going to talk to?
If Helena is gone, I would say I'm actually fine with any of the three that wins. Obviously, again, my personal fave would be Betty. Josh, he's in my draft. I did pick him first, so of course I love him to win. But if Kevin won the game based on being a casual and not seeing all the feeds, I would say Kevin is a deserving winner. I think he
deserving is a stretch.
I think he deserves it, period, based off, even though he did what he did and how he got there, I still think he'd be a deserving winner. He wouldn't be a bad winner. He wouldn't be Tyshawn level, but he would be a good winner.
Better than anybody touching
you saying that and looking at Reese's picture is just hilarious to me. Like, he ain't gonna be Tyshawn. He like,
if Kevin wins this game, he's a mid-level winner. I mean, he's probably yes. Oh yes, indeed. See, I'm not impressed by someone's game just because they can manipulate the Martys and Helenas of this world. That does not impress me.
As of right now, 1 to 10, what you rate Kevin's game?
Oh, realistically, a 7. I rate about a 7. He can't get an 8 from me though, or neither a 9, and definitely not a 10.
I'm giving Kevin a 7.5.
Big brother player. He's a good big brother player, but he thrives on chaos. He thrives on racial biases. He thrives on getting stupid people to do whatever you wanted to do. Like, if Kevin was, do you guys think that Kevin would have got as far as he got in this game if he was a black player? If he was a black man?
I don't know.
We know that. We know the answer to that. Because he wouldn't have had certain people's ear.
Look, production wouldn't have him as the fave and with them snow segments and stuff.
No, I was ready to say
the snow segments. Lord Jesus, not the snow segments.
And choosing him to be the poster child, reading all the cards, like you said last week, and doing all these little, what you call them, assignments, and crying and fake evicting.
How did they not let Moose get the first assignment from Marsha to Moose? Come on, Jesus.
He was gone. He was evicted.
They should have been did it. Is what they should have did.
Push it up a week.
Yeah, they should have been did it. She a Moose on the wall. All you have to do is put the card in her. She not
that
real.
That would have been so camp if Moose got to talk to Marsha. Like, how do they? What is production thinking?
Speaking of what production is thinking,
that was a flop.
We can. I don't know if we have anything else left to talk about, but I'm going to say this: like, this was the 10-year anniversary, and y'all marketed this season. It was going to be this big and outrageous and twists and turns and special stuff. And yes, it was nice to see all these pop-ups of past players and winners and all that was cute. They came in the comp, they came at the Wendy's. But what happened to the door? What happened to all these other things?
Let's talk about that. The flops
this
of
is
the
thing
season.
You don't get though. They wanted this to be BB10, except BBCAN 10. They focused so much on making another Dan Giesling that they dropped the ball. Like, they wanted that so bad.
Dropped. They would have been better just not giving us gimmicks. Not saying, oh, we're going to go back and we're going to relive some. They had a door, said, okay, the person evicted is going to have a door. They did it one time and Kevin won $500. They had a door go off in a, what is it? The door went off and nothing came from it, right? It was the Wendy's room or something.
It was a Wendy's sponsored thing or something like that.
Like the phone thing,
happened. The phone thing was a flop.
Oh my God, that was dope. You know, Jay answered the phone the first week. He got, they got safety. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, this is gonna be dope. Like, all these different things happening around the house.
It was the lack of follow through. The lack of follow through.
And we couldn't even watch the comps. The one comp we got to watch that everybody has been waiting for. They little raggedy button didn't work. And I was like, okay, that sucks. But we're gonna get to see another comp on the feeds. Never even gave us another comp on the feeds, child. All I did was live feeds. I was upset about that.
What was that about? Is that, y'all know I don't watch BBCAN feeds and stuff like that. But is it normal for them not to show endurance comps over the feeds?
They'll at least show one.
They show Buzzkills. Is pretty much what they show.
What is it with that? Like, why, we want to see the endurance comp, so why wouldn't they let us see that?
Show like
if they show the comps, they can't rig it for who they want to rig it.
Exactly. I think they got too caught up. They knew Gino. They wanted Gino when that Buzzkill because baby, the way they had the camera on him settled and nestled, I knew he was gonna win. And of course, they did another comp, and who won? Jane out. That's literally they like we all went in. We're like, okay, Gino win
the summer that before they went change the comp. You need to go get this slot pass, girl. We're gonna give you a slot pass, so you need to take the slot pass.
Listen,
they never would have guessed that man would have went out on a gummy bear. Like that is so
never last week. I said I don't even think they could have came up with that.
You couldn't have wrote that.
That is unscripted television at its finest.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, next week is the finale, y'all. So we will get to see our predictions and whether or not any of our predictions were accurate or not.
Mine's were. All of mine's were.
All of Reese. You heard it here first that all of Reese's predictions are going to come to pass on what day is that? Thursday?
Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday,
so
my
this
country.
Coming Thursday, we shall
I'm just
see.
kidding, y'all. Y'all know
a new BBCAN winner to be crowned.
Joshua Nash, Team Joshua, Team Dr. Nash's nurses.
No,
Team Nash nurses.
Team Bethlehem.
Drop the ball on that.
Is that what y'all call yourselves? Nash's
nurses? I'm just coming up with it on
Reese, you a Nasher?
Nash's
nurses. I need to put that on Twitter.
That's funny. That's
Please
hilarious.
put that on Twitter.
I used to be. Look, I will definitely admit to it. I am a Josh flip flopper. If he used right now, I'm cussing Josh out. But if he used the veto on Betty and take her to final two, then I'm gonna be back on the Josh.
Look,
train.
never dissed.
Never dissed Josh. Love you. But if you don't use the veto on her, then you know the opposite of love.
Reese is a part of Josh's Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh gosh, I'm not feeling. I don't know what it is about Josh, but I just cannot.
Because that man is attractive, bro.
Like when I have a favorite, you be my favorite, and that's it. Like it takes a lot for me to turn my back on you.
Wait, shout out to Reese and her loyalty.
Hold on, I gotta say this before we end real quick. So the house guests saw their families, right? When I tell you, when they got to visit their family members, Josh talked to his mom, which he was like, "Oh, mom." The way, if I ain't seen my mama in so long, I was like, "Mama," like JC Penny with my little eyes out, that would have been me. The way this man hollered and cried when Kevin left more than seeing his mama, I said, "I know you lying, Josh. No, you ain't gonna cry for your uncle like that."
What was that season with the man who saw his mama and didn't even recognize
Season 8. Chris, who follows me on Twitter? Chris.
Wasn't it at Taco Bell?
It was.
Wasn't it
at the Wendy's thing?
Yes, recognized his mama. He said, "Oh, hi, hello, nice to meet you." Nigga, that's your mama.
Bro, that was hilarious, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. We shall see, y'all. I said we didn't talk about the last 30 minutes as if Helena was gone. I'm cracking up.
We don't know. For all we know, gone. Kevin gone, and we
have
been gone. Crowning him as a winner pick.
The best final three, though, a good final three for this overall season would be Betty, Josh, and Kevin.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna be real. I would love for Betty to win. Josh is my second choice, but if Kevin wins, I won't be mad.
Betty deserves final two. I feel like at this point, Betty's gonna be if they kept Kevin, I think Betty's a shoo-in for final two, if I'm being honest.
If they smart, give my sister 10K.
Yes.
Exactly.
Or 100K.
With some sort of a check.
And be the first woman in BBCAN history to
first black woman
to get to final two.
First North American winner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
This would be a first time for Canada.
And I'm telling you, y'all need to prepare already. If Betty wins BBCAN 10, I will be saying she is a top tier winner. Don't get look. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
It's in our little Velma, Jinkies, glasses, and orange. All of that.
Business.
I love it.
She would deserve every bit of it because she has fought tooth and nail.
I love Betty.
Yeah,
but I guess we'll probably talk more about that on the finale episode when we do our little rankings, like our character rankings, like we did for BB23, giving them a 1 out of 10. And
Betty gets 11.
I'm so excited, guys. Viewers and listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to Who All Gonna Be There podcast, the place where you get to be an exclusive member of our very entertaining group chat. And we thank you for interacting with us and following and liking and subscribing and giving us 5-star ratings on everywhere the podcast lives. And so we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, you guys. See y'all later.